Good afternoon, Scratch readers. I'm Chloe Randall from Scratch Magazine, and today I'll be chatting to Liz McKeon about Shear Haven's anti-domestic violence training initiative, which I think is an absolutely brilliant initiative. So firstly, how are you today, Liz?
I'm really good and nice to be here. And yeah, all the better for the nice weather, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and it's a Friday just in time for the weekend
Mhm.
as well. So please could you introduce yourself and just tell us a bit about yourself?
Yes, sure. My name is Liz McKeon, and I've been working in the beauty and hair and nail industry for a long time. And my business title is Salon Business Expert. And I mainly specialize in business development and teaching people how to run more profitable businesses with great success, I'm delighted to say. And coming out of lockdown, I've relaunched all my training courses under the umbrella of the International Salon Business School. So we have very exciting times here at Liz McKeon HQ. So that's basically what I do.
That sounds brilliant. And yeah, so today, as I mentioned before, we'll be speaking about the anti-domestic violence initiative, which you've recently become an ambassador for UK
Mhm.
and Ireland.
Yeah.
So when did the initiative launch and what were the initial goals behind it?
So the initiative originally launched in Tennessee in America, I think in around 2017, by a lady called Suzanne Post, who runs a hair salon. She's a stylist and she's also a survivor of domestic violence. And she came to understand that in salons, nail bars, hair salons, all the personal services that we have, a very unique and special relationship with our clients. And she felt, with her background, that there was something that we could do to help people in salons to be more aware of this situation. So she teamed up with the YWCA, which is where the shelters are in Tennessee, and they developed this 20-minute training teaching people how to recognize the signs and what to say and do in a salon or a nail bar environment. And during lockdown, then a really exciting thing happened insofar as Barbicide then came on as the official sponsors. So that's really been a game changer, because it's meant that Suzanne was able to scale up. So I found the training in about February time, during our lockdown. One Saturday night, I found it when I was just going through my LinkedIn, and I did the training, and I just thought it was amazing that in a 20-minute segment, we could help so many people, to help our clients. So I then contacted America and just said, I think we need to bring this to Ireland and to the UK. You get a little certificate when you do your training, and I put my certificate up I did a couple of social media posts, and then I also sent out a newsletter to my database saying, I know everybody's doing loads of virtual training during lockdown. Please put this on your on your training schedule. And apparently several thousand people in the UK looked at the training as a result. So then we've had our communications, we've been in talks, since then until last week, when we were ready to actually launch in Ireland and in England. And the take up on it has been just overwhelming, and the interest and the support we've got from people has been fantastic. So does that give you the background?
Yeah, definitely. That's brilliant that you've already had such a great reaction already. So you've mentioned how it takes like 20 minutes to complete. So what's the structure of the course? How does it sort of work?
Okay, so if anybody is interested in doing this, the training is on my website. So you just go onto my website, and it's my name, lizmckeon.com, and details are on the home page. We've also recorded a fairly lengthy, but I think a really good video interview that it gives all the background with Barbicide, Suzanne Post, and myself. You can look at that or not, but the training is literally just press on the link to the training, and it's 20 minutes long. That's all it is. Now, it's very comprehensive, and I have to say at this point, we're not going to change the world with this. It's not telling people what to say to people, sitting across you when they're having their nails done. We can't solve their problems for them. And Suzanne and I know this, but what we can do is teach people how to listen, how not to judge, to have the details for your local refuge, to have that there should somebody want it. So we don't have the answers in terms of solving the problems for people, but we do know that in the capacity of, doing somebody's nails, that you're just, you're so important, and people tell you everything, don't you? I don't do treatments any longer. It's a long time since I've done anybody's nails, but I know people tell you everything. And since we launched this last week, and I've spoken to so many people about it in our industry, not one person has said to me, I've never come across that. Nobody has said to me, I've never had a client. I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody has been saying to me, oh, I've had this client, that client, the other client, this has happened, that's happened. And I never knew what to do or to say. So that's really what the training does. It's 20 minutes long, as I was saying, and it's developed in America. And just also to point out, this is now law. This training is legal. You have to do it in 2 states in America. If you work there, you cannot work in a salon without doing this training. And the plan in America is to make sure that it becomes law in the 50 states. Again, we would be hoping, to get that sort of support behind it on this side of the Atlantic as well. So yeah, it's just literally there, what to do, what to say, so that you feel empowered if you have that vulnerable person there, and that you're not saying to yourself, I can't help, I can't do anything, what am I supposed to do? If you've done your Shear Haven training, then you know the support that you can and can't give. Yeah.
It sounds like something that salon professionals, hair and beauty professionals can really benefit from, especially as you mentioned about how a lot of hair and beauty professionals have come across it so frequently, which is such a sad thing. But why do you think that maybe hair and beauty professionals are in a position that clients may open up to them about it? Like, what do you think it is about that sort of relationship that professionals have with their clients?
Well, this is why it's invaluable to do the training, because in that short space of time, the YWCA are able to explain there's a power and control cycle that goes on here. So that's explained, and the psychology behind it. And I think once you understand that, then you're empowered and positioned to know what to do and what to say. So that's why it's really important. But it's also important, if you watch the interview with Barbicide and Suzanne and myself, Leslie from Barbicide makes the point that she has no understanding of this. She has no background in it. That, she doesn't know. It's never been on. It's not ever affected her on a personal level. So she would feel at a loss. So when we're explaining to her, actually, when you're in that situation, you can't really talk to your family and friends, because part of that power and control cycle is that you are isolated from those people. And if you're not isolated, you're very restricted in what you can talk about. So that means going to the nail bar or going to the salon is a very safe place. Okay. Even if the perpetrator drops you outside and is waiting for you, when you're in there, you're safe. There's people there that that the perpetrator is not going to get to. So you're safe to say what you need to say and to be who you want to be in that short space of time. And because of the unique and special relationship that you build up with your nail tech over the course of all your visits and all your time. So it's for all of us in our industry to understand that we're a very important part in the community. We're very important to our clients. And I think this became very obvious to me during lockdown, particularly the first lockdown, where I saw so many business owners putting up posts to their clients saying, if you need to chat, I'm still here, here's the number. If you need to talk about, if you need me to call the authorities for you, just mention such a cream or such a nail varnish or whatever it is, just mention that and I'll know to call the authorities for you. Which led me to think that there's a lot of people in our industry who are keeping an eye out for particular clients to make sure that they're safe.
I completely agree, and I think professionals do so much more than just the hair and beauty treatments. As you said,
so much more.
It's that unique relationship they build with their clients, who they might have been seeing for years, or new clients, whatever. And yeah, I think a lot of people did put a lot of social media posts as well, saying like, "I'll ask for this certain product," or "ask to see this certain person." So obviously you mentioned a bit about lockdown, but what kind of impact do you think the pandemic has had on domestic violence?
Well, I think the numbers speak for themselves. This is not something new. And also, I always like to point out, it's not a gender-specific problem either. So if we never had lockdowns, we're talking about 1 in 4 females and 1 in 7 men So they've been the statistics for a long time, but all over the world, it's just frightening how how this problem has got so much worse because of people being in such a, being together so much, having to work from home, the stress levels that the pandemic has caused, all of that. I can't even remember the numbers because they're different everywhere, but it has seriously risen as a result of the pandemic. And even last Saturday I was at home and I was just looking at my Facebook news feed, just scrolling through, wasting time as you do, and I saw a salon owner who put up a picture of her client and just said she's dead. So I think it's the pandemic has made it so much worse.
It really has. It's absolutely devastating to hear, and I think this training will be invaluable for so many hair and beauty professionals. So obviously you are the ambassador for Ireland. So what does your role involve in terms of the training for that and being ambassador?
So my role is really just to leverage the position, the following that I have, and get it out there as much as I possibly can. There's one point I'd like to make, and that's when you complete your training, you get a certificate. And we are asking people to post those certificates up on social media and to tag us when you do that, so that it raises awareness about Shear Haven. We're also asking people if they have space on their certificate wall. The way everybody in our industry, we love our certs and we love our awards. So as awareness on this grows, that you could frame your certs, put them up on the wall, and then for that, for that vulnerable client, that she would actually see the frame and see the certificate in it and know, well, this, I'm glad to be here.
Definitely. Yeah. I think just that reassurance as well from the client's point of view would just be such a reassurance that, they're in a safe place to talk and a safe haven, as you will. So apart from, obviously, so it's a 20-minute thing. Obviously, I'm guessing it's online as well, all online.
It's all online. It's just virtual training. It's on the Barbicide website, the American Barbicide website, and it's also on my website, lizmckeon.com. It is literally 20 minutes. Like, you could do it while you're eating your sandwich at lunchtime if you're lucky enough to get a lunchtime. So very, very easy to download, and the YWCA offered to remake the video for us, for Ireland and England with English and Irish accents, and I was just like, it's okay, it's fine that you all have American accents in it. So it's we just need to get it out there. We don't need to remake the video. It's there. So very accessible. It couldn't be easier. Yeah,
definitely. And is there an exam to take at the end? Just because some might worry.
There's just a tiny little, I think it's only 3 or 4 questions in order to get your certificate, just a tiny little quiz. But, if you've paid attention at all, you're going to pass. I have 25,000 people plus globally. This is now in 99 countries. So 25,000 people have done it. So I don't think anybody has failed the quiz.
100% success rate.
100%. Yeah. There's 100%. Yeah, you're bound to get 100% in this. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I think that sounds absolutely brilliant, and we'll leave the link for your website and things like that in the comments.
Great. Thank you, Chloe. That would be fabulous. Thank you so much. Yes, and thank you to everybody in Scratch. And it's one of my favorite magazines. And I do write every so often in Scratch, so I feel I know your audience.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you about it as well. And this will be saved to our IGTV on our Instagram, and it'll also be posted to our website and things like that. So for anyone who's missed it today, because obviously a lot of our nail technicians will be working.
I'm busy.
Busy. It was, especially with this hot weather, people will be trying to get their manicures in for the weekend. This will be saved so people can go back and watch it at their free time. So it'll be available for everyone to watch as well.
Great. Okay.
Thank you so much for speaking to us today.
Not at all. Thank you. And yes, really, really appreciate the opportunity. So thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.